Dear Senator McCain, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you here among members of the Mujahideen Khalq. You have worked so hard for this safety. 3 years ago, you said, I promise I will never give up until everyone in Camp Ashraf and Liberty are free to go wherever they want. You truly upheld your promise. The relocation of PMOI members was a great achievement. Their persistence and sacrifices, coupled with international support, made their relocation possible. During the 2009 uprisings in Iran, while the Iranian people's desire for freedom and democracy was brutally suppressed, the US government, unfortunately, remained silent. But the Iranian people have not given up their desire for change and will never do. We are more determined than ever to establish freedom and democracy in Iran. As the regime is engulfed in deepening crisis, we are closer than ever to achieving our goal. In your message to the gathering of Iranians for democracy in 2014, you rightly said, more must be done to comprehensively address the challenges posed by the Iranian regime and counter the threat their dangerous actions pose. This regime is responsible for war crimes in Syria and must be evicted from Syria. Aside from the valuable humanitarian aspect, I believe that from a mere political standpoint, it's also the right policy. Experience has shown that this regime is incapable of changing its behavior. Thus, regime change in Iran is necessary for peace and stability in the region and for global peace and security. Only the Iranian people can and shall bring about the change. The Iranian resistance, the Mujahideen, are determined to overthrow this regime and establish democracy in Iran. They have been struggling for 52 years to realize this cause, and they will carry it on to the end. We only call for a firm policy on the regime, solidarity and political support for the Iranian people's aspirations for freedom and recognition of their right to resistance against the religious dictatorship ruling Iran.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for this wonderful, wonderful reception I cannot tell you how grateful I am, and frankly, how happy I am that you are here and not in Iraq. I thank you. I thank you, Madam, for your leadership. I thank you for all of my friends. It goes without saying that we live in a very dangerous world. And we now see an Iranian government that is attempting to extend its influence and tyranny throughout the Middle East. It is a fact that Bashar Assad would not be in power today if it had not been for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and the Iranian help and Hezbollah that came into Syria when Bashar Assad was about to fall. There's no doubt that the people in this room have suffered not only themselves, but in the loss of their loved ones because of the Iranian tyranny. And I express my condolences to everyone in this room who has lost a loved one as a result of Iranian tyranny and terrorism. So I am greatly, greatly moved by this reception. And I know that we have a long way to go. This is the first step. This is an example of the support that you were able to get in the United States of America, in the world, to get you to freedom. And I will never forget the effort that has been made by so many Americans. They've joined you in Paris time after time. And it's been a wonderful outpouring of concern and care and love for people who deserve better than what they had. I thank you for being an example to the whole world, that those people who are willing to fight and sacrifice for freedom will achieve it. And you are an example to everyone in the world that's struggling for it. You know, my friends, some of us remember in 2009, when as a result of a corrupt election, the people all over Iran rose up in protest for a better life and for a better government. And the world watched as a young woman named Neda bled to death in a square in Tehran. I will never forget that. Someday, Iran will be free. Someday, we will all gather in that square. Someday, we will gather to dedicate a statue of that young woman who is the symbol of the fight against Iranian tyranny. So it's hard for me to express to you my gratitude to you. You have expressed your gratitude to me, which has been deeply moving. But you have stood up and fought and sacrificed for freedom, for the right to live free, for the right to determine your own future, for the right that is God-given. We have a most important part of our declaration that we believe that all men are created equal and endowed with certain inalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have life, you have liberty, you have the opportunity to pursue happiness together bonded together, forged in the fire of sacrifice, forged together in a common cause, that the rights of all people should be respected and worth the fighting for. Thank you and God bless.